I'm here with a new compact system camera from Samsung. It's the NX20 and it's a successor to the NX11. Now there are some similarities but a few changes to the spec that make this one real different. Now the first change is that there's a new sensor in this model. The original NX11 had a 14.6 megapixel sensor. This one has a 20.3 megapixel sensor. It's an APS-C CMOS sensor. Now Samsung say that should help it in low light conditions, so we should be able to get some better shots there. The new model also has a faster shutter speed. This one can manage 1/6000. Now that's a step up that Samsung have managed to do by using a hybrid shutter, so it's now a mechanical and electronic shutter. As with the NX11, this model has an electronic viewfinder. It's also got an AMOLED screen. This one's articulated, so you can pull it out and move it around to help to avoid any reflections and shoot round corners. Now this particular screen is called Clear AMOLED. Samsung have made a change to the composition, so it should be more resistant to showing reflections effectively. You should be able to see it much more clearly. Obviously, if you're having a lot of problems in really bright sunlight, you've always got the viewfinder as a backup. Now, Samsung's made some changes here compared to the NX11. On the control wheel, it's much more like the NX200. They've removed the panoramic function, which now sits within your scene modes. What they have added here is a custom setting, so you can save up to 3 different custom settings. Once you've got the settings, the manual settings like aperture, shutter speed, exposure, all those things set up, you can save the setting and then you can get back to it really quickly. Another thing on here, you've got the smart mode, which is just the smart auto mode. It will take the best shot for whatever conditions you're in, so it makes it really easy, much more like a point and shoot. One of the other nice features about this, if you're shooting in a manual mode, is that we now have a smart panel on this model. If I turn around the screen, and you'll be able to see it. If I press this function button over here, it calls up all of the things that you might want to adjust, such as your aperture, your shutter speed, the ISO setting. Now with this model, it goes from an ISO setting of 100 up to 12,800, which is massive. And there shouldn't be much detriment to what you're shooting. Obviously, there may be more graininess in the higher ISO settings, as you would expect. Now you can step through these items by either scrolling around to move about, and you can use this control at the top here to adjust through. Now because this is a step up from the NX11, you've also got the eye function lenses on this model. So by pressing this eye function button here on your lens, you can call up other things that you might want to adjust very quickly, again, the aperture, the shutter speed and such like, and you can adjust them by using the focus ring here on the lens, so you can scroll through to whatever you want. And that's a nice quick way of doing it if you're standing, or even if you're looking through the viewfinder, it will make it really easy. Obviously anything that you see here, you can see on the electronic viewfinder, so you'll be able to see all the things that you're adjusting. The other big addition that Samsung have made to this compact system camera is the inclusion of Wi-Fi. Now this is going to be Samsung's first compact system camera that includes Wi-Fi. We've seen it on the compact before, but never on anything this big. So we can choose the Wi-Fi setting here. Obviously you won't see that on the NX200. Here we have all the different settings that you can use within Wi-Fi. So you can email photos to people or to yourself. The mobile link allows you to send photos from the camera through Wi-Fi to your phone or a friend's phone. There's also this remote option here, remote viewfinder. Now that's one of these, if you want to stick the camera on the wall and take a shot of you in front of it, you can use your phone, your smartphone, to then control the camera. And it's not just in the case of previous models where you're just taking the shot by using your phone like a remote control. You can also change the settings as well, like I showed you on the smart panel. One of the more useful features, if you're not into the gimmicky things but you're a proper photographer and you just want to back up all your photos, the auto backup's going to be really handy. You can connect this up easily wirelessly with your computer at home, and just by selecting that option you'll be able to back up all of the photos you've taken onto your computer, which will really save you a lot of bother with cables, something I hate doing. Now, this also works with a cloud service. Samsung will be launching their own, we think, at some point soon. So you'll get a firmware update when that happens. So you can then access your photos from the cloud anywhere. Now there are a whole range of lenses available for this NX20. All of these here that you can see are Samsung's lenses, and they all have the eye function button. So you can use those little functions to snip between the things you use most. All the way down from the 16mm pancake all the way up to this 18 to 200mm here. Also, if you have a K-mount, a Pentax K-mount, you can use other lenses on it as well. So that's your options. As a kit over here, it will come with the 18 to 55mm lens with the eye function. And it'll be retailing, we expect, for around $799, although we'll have to see when it actually launches.